Greetings, children. Welcome back to the maths class. Last week, we started with chapter number 7, that is fractions. We covered what are fractions, that is definition of fractions, types of fractions in which we covered proper fraction, improper fraction and mixed fraction. And the fourth topic we did was how to plot fractions on the number line. I hope you must have completed exercise 7.1 and the first question of exercise 7.2. Today we will be starting with the second question of exercise 7.2, that is converting an improper fraction into mixed fraction. This we have been doing it since class 4. In class 4 and 5, we have practiced converting improper fractions to mixed fractions and vice versa, mixed fractions to improper fractions. The new question will start from the new page. I am not writing the question here. You have to copy the question with the black pen. Now express the following as mixed fraction. A 20 upon 3. Now you know that when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, then it is an improper fraction. We can always convert improper fraction into mixed fraction, but we cannot convert proper fraction into mixed fraction. To convert, we have to have improper fraction with us, then only we can convert it into mixed fraction. Now, when we convert improper fraction to mixed fraction, we divide, and you need to show the division here itself. 20 divided by 3. 3 6 are 18. The remainder is 2. Now always children make mistake what to write as a whole number, what should be the numerator, what should be the denominator. There are two ways to understand. This moves in a cyclic order. The quotient will become the integer. That means when I'll write quotient as an integer. Then the divisor will become the denominator. So 3 will come down and the remainder will go up. It will move in a cyclic order. Are you getting it, children? The quotient will become the integer, then the divisor will go down, that is the denominator, and the remainder will go up, that is the numerator. Or else, whatever the denominator is there in the question, here the denominator is 3. So for the mixed fraction also the denominator will be 3. Only you need to remember that the integer will be the quotient and the remainder will be the numerator. You can do, I think, 3 to 4 questions on one page. 11 upon 5. I'll write the question 11 upon 5. I'll divide 11 by 5. 5 2s are 10. The remainder is 1. So as I told you, the denominator will be same. So I will first write 5. My thing is over. Now I have to remember only two things. The quotient will be the integer or the whole number and the remainder will be the numerator. You can divide the page into two parts. See, 17 divided by 7. Here only you can divide. 17 divided by 7. 7 2s are 14. The remainder is 3. So, I'll write the denominator first. Whatever the denominator is in the question, the answer will also have the same denominator. So, you just have to remember this will be 2 whole 3 upon 7. Then D. 28 upon 5. We will divide 28 by 5. 5 5s are 25. Remainder is 3. Here the denominator is 5 in the question, so I will repeat the denominator here. What is? The quotient will be the whole number and the denominator will be the numerator. The next one, E, 19 divided by 6. 19 upon 6. Divide 19 by 6. 6 3s are 18. Remainder is 1. So first of all I will write 6 in the denominator, then the quotient will become the whole number and the remainder will become the numerator. F 35 by 9. 35 by 9. Divide 35 by 9. 9 4s are 36. 9 3s are 27. 15 minus 7 is 8. So it will be 3 whole 8 upon 9. Whenever you need to cross check, whenever you are converting improper fraction to mixed fraction, the answer will have a whole number and a proper fraction. Then you will never get improper fraction. If you are converting improper fraction to mixed fraction, then one, you will get the whole number and the fraction will always be a proper fraction. Coming to question number 3. It is very easy question. I'll do 2 or 3 with you. The remaining you will do it on your own. Express the following as improper fractions. This is 1 mark question. The mixed fractions are given to you. You need to write the question. I am not writing. 7 whole 3 upon 4. 5 whole 6 upon 7. 2 whole 5 upon 6. 10 whole 3 upon 5. This is the most simple question of this exercise, of this chapter rather. Multiply the whole number and the denominator. 4 sevens are 28. 28 plus 3, we will directly write 31 upon 4. Do not forget to write the denominator. We have to write the denominator. This was mixed fraction, we have converted into improper fraction. Here, 5 sevens are, multiply the whole number and the denominator. 5 sevens are 35. 35 plus 6, 41. So the answer is 41 upon 7. 2 6 are 12. 12 plus 5, 17 upon 6. 10 5s are 50. 50 plus 3, 53 upon 5. You will repeat the denominator. Whatever the denominator is in the question, the answer will have the same denominator. If you want, we can do E and F. 9 whole 3 upon 7. 9 whole 3 upon 7. And F, 8 whole 4 upon 9. 8 whole 4 upon 9. 9 sevens are 63. 63 plus 3, 66 upon 7. 8 nines are 72. 72 plus 4, 76 upon 9. This was it. Now coming to a very important topic of fractions, that is equivalent fractions. It is the most important topic of this chapter. So kindly pay attention while I am explaining. Equivalent fraction. Now, how to find an equivalent fraction? For example, I have a fraction, suppose 2 upon 5. I want to find its equivalent fraction. There are two ways to find an equivalent fraction. One by multiplying or two by dividing. Now if we are multiplying, whatever we multiply the numerator with, we have to multiply the denominator also with the same number. If I am multiplying 2 upon 5, the numerator with 2, I have to multiply the denominator also with 2. I multiplied the numerator with 2, the same way I have to multiply the denominator with. So it will be 4 upon 10. 4 upon 10 is equivalent fraction of 2 upon 5. You can find infinite equivalent fractions. 2 upon 5, if I multiply the numerator and the denominator both with 3, I'll get 6 upon 15. 2 3s are 6, 5 3s are 15. 6 upon 15 is an equivalent fraction of 2 upon 5. You can multiply it with any number. 2 upon 5, if I multiply with 10, both the numerator and the denominator, I get 20 upon 50. Again, 20 upon 50 is an equivalent fraction of 2 upon 5. You can get infinite. You can multiply it with 100, you can multiply it with 1000, you can multiply it with 72, any number on earth you can multiply it. But be very sure that whatever you are multiplying the denominator with, the same number has to be multiplied with numerator or vice versa. Now in the beginning I told you that whenever we want to find an equivalent fraction, we can either multiply or divide. Here I showed you how to multiply and find an equivalent fraction. Now I take 2 upon 5. By division also I can find an equivalent fraction, but I want to find a common factor. 2 and 5, they both are prime numbers. They do not have any common factor. So we cannot find an equivalent fraction with the help of division. But of course, if I have a fraction, suppose 10 upon 5, I can find an equivalent fraction either by multiplying or by dividing. See, if I multiply 10 upon 5, 10 and 5 with 4, suppose. 10 fours are 40, 5 fours are 20. So it is an equivalent fraction. If I multiply 10 upon 5 with 7, whatever I multiply the numerator with, the same number has to be multiplied with the denominator. So I'll get 10 sevens are 70, 5 sevens are 35. This is also an equivalent fraction. This was with the help of multiplication. I can also divide and find the equivalent fraction. Now 10 upon 5, I need to find the common factor. Then only I can divide. But whatever I divide in the numerator, the same thing I have to divide with the denominator. So I need a common factor between the two. What is the common factor between 10 and 5? It could be 5. If I divide the numerator with 5, I have to divide the denominator also with 5. So when I divide 10 by 5, it will be 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So even 5 upon 1 is an equivalent fraction of 10 upon 5. But we can find only 1. There is no other common factor. So by division, we cannot find only one equivalent fraction we can find. But with multiplication, you can find infinite. Same way, in case of 2 upon 5, there was no common factor. So with the help of division, I cannot find any equivalent fraction. But rest, with multiplication, I can find infinite equivalent fractions. Now children, if I take an example of Suppose 12 upon 4. There is an example 12 upon 4. I want to find an equivalent fraction of 12 upon 4 with the help of division. Multiplication, you can multiply with any number. You will get the equivalent fraction. But with division, so I divide. Now I will find the common factor between 12 and 4. I'll say 4. So I divide the denominator with 4, I divide the numerator with 4. Whatever I am dividing the numerator with, the same number has to be divided. So I'll get the 12 divided by 4 is 3 and 1. This is also called converting it into lowest term or the simplest form. We have to convert it or divided it is so long that it stops, they do not have any common factor. Now 3 and 1 both are prime numbers, they do not have any common factors, so here my division stops. This is called converting it into lowest term or into simplest form, but this is only the way of showing. That is also called in a layman's language, in Desi Bhasha, we call it cutting method. Now let's see how we will do cutting method. For example, I have 12 upon 4. Now in my mind, I know that the common factor between 12 and 4 is 4. So 4 ones are 4 threes are. So here it is 3 upon 1. So wasn't it this simple? So this is the simplest form. Now no more common factors between 3 and 1. So I stop here. One more example I will give. For example, 27 upon 30. I want to convert or find its equivalent fraction, or I can ask you convert it into lowest term, or I can ask you find its simplest form. This is all one and the same thing. Only the way of question is different, the language differs, but it is all one and the same thing. Now 27 and 30. I need to find its common factor. Which common factor? 30 and 27, which number stable? They both come. They both come. See, I can take 9. 27 comes in the table of 9, but 30 doesn't come. So 9 is not the common factor. Which is the common factor? 3. 3 9s are 27. 3 10s are 30. 9 upon 10. Now, is there any common factor between 9 and 10? No, there is no. They are consecutive numbers. Consecutive numbers never have common factors. So, my answer or the simplest form or the equivalent fraction is 9 upon 10. Coming to exercise 7.3. The question number 1 and 2 are to be done in textbook only. We will start the new exercise from new page. You will all write the question. I will not be writing the question, but you have to write the heading with black pen, exercise 7.3. You will write question number 3 where I am not writing, and we will write A. 2 upon 7 is equal to 8 upon. Do not make the box, please. The answer we will write with blue pen. 5 upon 8 is equal to 10 upon dash. C. 3 upon 5 is equal to dash upon 20. They are all 1 mark questions. 45 upon 60 is equal to 15 upon dash. 18 upon 24 is equal to dash upon 4. Now, 2 upon 7. I want to find its equivalent fraction. Now, what should I do to 2 to make it 8? I multiply. I multiply it with 4. Now I told you, whenever I multiply the numerator with any number, with the same number I need to multiply the denominator. Otherwise, denominator will feel bad. Why only with numerator, not with me? So whatever you are multiplying the numerator with, you have to multiply the denominator with the same number. So I will multiply denominator also with 4. So 7 4s will become 28. Isn't it very simple? Same way, 5 upon 8. I want to make 5 into 10. Now what should I do to convert 5 to 10? What will I do? I will multiply. Multiply with what? Multiply with 2. 5 2s are 10. You all know that. If I multiply the numerator with 2, I have to multiply the denominator also with 2. So 8 2s will become 16. Same way, 3 upon 5, I want to make the denominator 20. Now what should I do to 5 to make it 20? Definitely I multiply with 4. 5 4s are 20. If I multiply the denominator with 4, I have to multiply the numerator with 4 only. Whatever I do with the numerator, the same thing has to be repeated with the denominator. So 3 4s will become 12. Now here comes the twist in the question. 45 upon 60. What should I do to 45 to make it 15? Now, when it was 5, you made it 20. From small to big, you multiply. But 45 to 15, from big to small, what you will do? Divide. Now, by which number shall I divide 45 so that I get 15? 15 3s are 45. So, I'll divide 45 with 3, so only I'll get 15. If I divide the numerator with 3, I have to divide the denominator also with 3. So 60 divided by 3 will be 20. I hope the things are clear with you. Same way, 18 upon 24. I want to convert the denominator 24 into 4, that is small. What should I do? I divide it by 6. If I divide the denominator by 6, I will divide the numerator also by 6. So 18 divided by 6 will be 3. So the answer will be 3 upon 4. Question number 4. I will not write the question, but you have to write the question. A, denominator 20. New question from new page, and all these 4 will fit in one page. Numerator 9. Denominator 30. And D, numerator 27. Now, I have got a fraction with me. In the question is 3 upon 5. Is it clear? I want to find its equivalent fraction in such a way that the denominator I should get is 20. So what should I do to 5 to make it 20? From small to big, we will multiply. I will multiply it with 4. If I multiply the denominator with 4, I have to multiply the numerator also with 4. So 3 4s will become 12. Again, the fraction with me is same, that is 3 upon 5. I want to make the numerator 9. Now what should I do to 3 to make it 9? I'll multiply it with 3. If I multiply the numerator with 3, I have to multiply the denominator also with 3. So 5 3s will become 15. They are all 1 mark questions, children. The fraction with me is same, 3 upon 5. I want to convert it into denominator 30. That means I want to find an equivalent fraction of 3 upon 5 so that it has a denominator 30. What should I do to 5 to make it 30? Multiply by 6. If I multiply the denominator by 6, I have to multiply the numerator also by 6. So it will be 3 6 are 18. Same way, I have the same fraction 3 upon 5. I want to convert it into an equivalent fraction with numerator 27. What should I do to 3 to make it 27? 3 multiplied by 9. Similarly, I'll multiply denominator also with 9. So 5 9s are 45. Right, question number 5. You will write the question. I'll not write the question. On a new page. Question number 5. A. Numerator 9. And B. Denominator 4. I have the fraction with me 36 upon 48. Now, what should I do to 36 to make the numerator 9? Children, be very careful. 36 upon 48 is the fraction given to me. I want to convert the numerator into 9. That means I am going from big to small. When I go from small to big, I divide or multiply. But when I go from big to small, I divide. Now, with which number shall I divide 36 so that I get 9? 9 4s is 36. So, definitely I will divide the numerator with 4. If I divide the numerator with 4, I have to divide the denominator also with 4. So, when I divide 48 by 4, I will get the answer 12. The same fraction I have with me is 36 upon 48. I want to make the denominator 4. Now, with which number shall I divide 48 so that I get 4? 12 4s are 48. I divide it by 12. If I divide the denominator by 12, I have to divide the numerator also by 12. So 36 divided by 12 will be 3. So the answer will be 3 upon 4. Now we will be doing question number 6. You will write the new question on new page. Check whether the given fractions are equivalent. A. 5 upon 9 and 30 upon 54. B. 3 upon 10 and 12 upon 50. C. 7 upon 13 and 5 upon 11. I want to find out whether the given fractions are equivalent or not. There is one simple way. By cross multiplying, I will find out whether they are equivalent or not. You know the method of cross multiplying. So if I multiply 5 with 54. Now children, you all know the table of 5. So here only you can multiply. Instead of making a rough column and doing it, here only you can multiply. 5 4s are 20. 0 down, 2 carry over. 2 will be carried over on the neighbor. 5 5s are 25. 25 plus 2, 27. Same way, 9 multiplied by 30. Here is 0 at the end. 9 3s are 27. Are they equal? Yes. Therefore, I will write, therefore 5 upon 9 and 30 upon 54 are equivalent fractions. Are equivalent fractions. Coming to the second question, the same way. Whenever we are given the two fractions and we want to find out whether they are equivalent, cross multiply. 3 multiplied by 50. 0 at the end. 3 5s are 15. 10 multiplied by 12. It is 120. Are they equal? No, they are not equal. Therefore, 3 upon 10 and 12 upon 50 are not equivalent fractions. They are not, because if you get the same answer, then only they will be equivalent. Here you have got different answer, so they are not equivalent fractions. Coming to the last question, I'll cross multiply. 7 multiplied by 11, it is 77. 13 multiplied by 5, 13 5s is 65. Are they equal? No. Therefore, 7 upon 13 and 5 upon 11 are not equivalent fractions. Question number 7. Reduce the following fraction to simplest form. As I told you, actually you are finding the equivalent fraction but by division only, no multiplication. That is also called simplest form, that is also called lowest term. So you can use any term for it, do not get confused. First question is A 48 upon 60. Now children, whenever you are finding an equivalent fraction with the help of division or converting the fraction into lowest term, you will divide it here only, write the digits keeping some gap in between. You have to keep some gap in between. Now, you have to find the common factor between 48 and 60. You will say 2, yes. Now you know the divisibility rules also. You will say 3, yes. You will say 6, yes. You can use any number, any common factor between 48 and 60. But I will suggest that use a bigger number, because the smaller numbers you use, there are more chances of making mistake. But here I'll explain you how to do it. This is also called cutting method. I am using the small number only to explain you. You can directly use 6, I don't mind. But here I am showing you how to do it in a small and systematic way. I will do the division here only. I am using the table of 2 because 48 and 60 have a common factor 2. Now, cut here. How many times? 2 2s are 4. 4 minus 2 2s are 4. You will keep 4 in head. 4 minus 4, 0. 0 you cannot give to neighbor. So, it remains 8. 2 4s are 8. Cut here. 2 3s are 6. 6 minus 6, 0 only. Again, 24 and 30. You will find a common table. It goes with 2. It goes with 3. It goes with 6. You can use any table of your choice. I am using here 2. 24. Cut it first. Now divide 24 by 2. 2 1s are 2 minus 2, 0. You cannot give 0 to the neighbor. The neighbor is 4. 2 2s are 4. And 2 15s are 30. Now, anything common between 12 and 15? Yes, 3. 3 4s are 12. 3 5s are 15. Again think, anything common between 4 and 5? No. There is nothing common. They are consecutive numbers. So the simplest form is 4 upon 5. You have to divide till the time you reach a stage where there is no common factor between the numerator and the denominator. Till that time you keep on dividing. I'll go to B. 150 upon 60. Now whenever you are converting the fractions into their simplest form, please write the digits keeping some gap between them. 150, see I have written 1, 5 and 0, there is enough gap in between, and 60. Now there is one beautiful thing when we are doing the simplest form or the cutting method. If you have zeros at the end, directly you can cut. This 0 and this 0 cancels. Very simple, isn't it? Now I have 15 upon 6. Now I will find a common factor between 15 and 6. Which is the common factor between 15 and 6? Is it 2? No, you cannot use 2 because 15 does not come in the table of 2. So you cannot use 2. Can I use 3? Yes. 3 5s are 15, 3 2s are 6. So I can directly use 3 5s are and 3 2s are. Now, anything common between 5 and 2? Both are prime numbers. There is nothing common. So, write here 5 upon 2. Coming to C, I'll do it here. This is very important question of this exercise or this chapter. This will continue in all the chapters. So you have to be thorough with the division of fractions. 84 upon 98. I'll take 8 and 4 keeping some gap in between and 98. Here you have to find the common factor. You can use the divisibility rule. You know, no, the divisibility of 2, 3, 4. We have done it in chapter number 3, I suppose. 84, the last digit is 4. 98, the last digit is 8. Both are divisible by 2. So we will write divided by 2, cut. Now read the table of 2 till 8. 2 4s are 8. 8 minus 8, 0. 0 you cannot give to neighbor. Neighbor is 4. 2 2s are 4. Cut. Now read the table of 2 till 9. 2 1s are 2. 2 2s are 4. 2 3s are 6. 2 4s are 8. 2 5s are 10. 10 is bigger. So 2 4s are 8. 8 you keep it in mind. Now here it is 9. In your mind it is 8. 9 minus 8? 1. So 1 can be given to the neighbor. Write small 1 beside it. It becomes 18. Now read the table of 2 till 18. 2 9s are 18. Now 42 and 49. 42 is divisible by 2 because last digit is 2. But 9? No. So 2 is not the common factor. Think about 3. 4 plus 2? 6. Yes, it is divisible by 3. But what about 4 plus 9? It is 13. 13 does not come in the table of 3. So no way. Same way, it is not divisible by 4. It is not divisible by 5. The common factor between 42 and 49 is 7. 7 6s are 42. 7 7s are 49. Now here 6 and 7. Nothing common. They are consecutive numbers. Consecutive numbers will never have anything common. So I have the answer 6 upon 7. D. 12 upon 52. 12 upon 52. Now keep some gap between the digits and divide. 52. Both the numbers, both the numerator and the denominator have 2 at the ones place. So both are divisible by 2 because it is the divisibility rule. So I'll take the table of 2. 2 6 are 12. Now read the table of 2 till 5. 2 1s are 2. 2 2s are 4. 2 3s are 6. It increases. I will come to 2 2s are 4. 2 2s are 4. 4 in my mind. Here it is 5. In my mind it is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 I will give it to the neighbor. The neighbor becomes 12. So 2 6 are 12. Now again 6 and 26. I have to find the common table. Definitely 2. 2 3s are 6. 2 1s are 2. 2 3s are 6. 3 and 13 both are prime numbers. So the answer will be 3 upon 13. E, very simple. I'll finish it off. 7 upon 28. 7 upon 28. Write 7 upon 28. 7 ones are 7, 7 fours are 28. It is 1 upon 4. Practice these types of questions because these are very important part of chapter number 7. Here, before coming to the end of the class, question number 8 and 9 of this exercise is for homework. You have to try it and do it in the classwork itself. Question number 8 and 9, you have to try and do it in classwork itself. It is for homework. Thank you, children. Keep practicing.